Hello everybody and welcome back to more of the Old Dominion Dynasty. We are in week 4 now, and here we'll check out the recruiting. But first, I just want to say thank you all for the support. I have officially, as of this morning, apparently, crossed the 1,000 subscriber mark. And I also want to say thank you to all of you, especially a lot of you new guys. I know a lot of you have subscribed recently. Within the past couple weeks, so thank you for all the support. I usually don't pay attention to number of views, number of likes, or anything like that, and whether one person is subscribed or 1,000 or whatever. I will keep making videos. So I just want to say thank you to everybody for all your support, because it's pretty fantastic and it makes it a lot easier to make these videos with consistency. So there you go. And I know a lot of you really like this series in particular based on your comments that I've been reading, so I really appreciate that. And I am continuing to get these videos out because they're a lot of fun to make. I really enjoy making these ones. So be ready, because I'll probably be posting a lot of these. I've got a lot of things ready to go, but here we have Matt Williams, free safety, is ready for visiting. And there you go. I'm going to set him up for when we play South Alabama in week 5. There you go. And you have some bonus goals there. So winning, getting some interceptions, and swatted passes will award bonus points. But just real quick, slider settings. Right here, I did make a few adjustments. They're based on some sliders I found on the Operation Sports forums. I did make a few adjustments because those sliders were made for 9-minute quarters, and I'm doing 7 minutes. I won't go above 7 minutes because otherwise editing the videos becomes tedious. But guys, we're just ready for the game, so here we go.
Hi everybody, Reese Davis with you, bringing you the EA Sports NCAA Football 14 pregame show presented by Nissan. Innovation that excites. You don't just walk into E.L. Romney Stadium in Logan, Utah and stroll out with a victory. Okay, well sometimes you do if you're really, really good. And these two teams are going to have to prove to be good as we close in on kickoff from Logan. That's going to do it for us. Thanks for checking out the pregame show. NCAA college football action coming right at you. Brad and Kirk on the call. David and I are back at halftime.
This matchup today is being played at Romney Stadium in Logan, Utah. Let's head down to the coin toss now. And it's brought to you by Coke Zero. Real Coca-Cola taste and 0 calories. Enjoy
Alright,
everything.
let's jump right into the action here as we start off with the ball. And as you can tell, Old Dominion, we are rocking some of those funky looking silver jerseys with the kind of interesting number patterns. Silver jerseys, silver helmets for this away game against Utah State. And on 3rd and 4, we do find the tight end Connor Martin. Get the tight end some action. I like tight ends. I like utilizing them in the passing game when possible. We run a little play action, and it's going to be tight end Gerard Schillo. Utilizing both of them early, 27-yard reception for him, so that's pretty good. Don't think we really hit him too much so far this season, but Tyree Lee will come on 2nd down with an 11-yard rush out of a draw play. Nice little action there, draw play action. We're utilizing a lot of that so far. And Heineke back to pass, finds Blair Roberts, running a nice little kind of post route there for 17 yards. And we are moving the ball right down the field. Utah State is kind of, compared to Virginia Tech, a lot easier to play against. But look at the tipped pass. Tipped to Connor Martin by the defender. This play, we got to look at this play again, guys. We really got to look at this one because defender tips it, goes right off his face. It looks like anyway. Kind of went off his face mask right into Connor Martin's hands. Good heads-up play by the tight end there to give us a 7-0 lead early in the game. So a good start. And it's Travis Reynolds out of bounds for a 3-yard gain there, so 3rd and 4. And it's Chucky Keaton, a dual threat quarterback, giving it to, who was that, Joe Hill, the halfback on a little screen. But Chucky Keaton is another dual threat quarterback. We've had to face a number of these guys so far this season. And he is no different than the Logan Thomases of the world here, because he'll beat you with his arm, he'll beat you with his legs. There to Brock Bird, the leading receiver for Utah State on the season so far. But Keaton runs a little option here, and he's going to go in for 16 yards to tie this one up. And Utah State went down the field 75 yards in under a minute. It took Old Dominion about 4 minutes to go 80 yards down the field. So, of course, that shows the different styles of offense here. And now Colby Goodwin going to take the kickoff return here. And he's going to get a great set of blocks to give him a huge hole. And he's going to go all the way 97 yards untouched for the kickoff return. Now, this is breaking an NCAA record, but it's not. I'm fairly certain the NCAA record for longest kick return is not 90 yards. So I think they I don't know what EA's been doing with their records, but for years it's been kind of wrong. But anyway, we take the lead right back, 14-7 in the first quarter here, and Chucky Keaton's going to punch out a fool there before being brought down, but that was like literally a punch. I don't know what that was about. 3rd and 4, and he's going to find who else but Kelvin Lee. 6-yard reception. Some decent receivers for Keaton to throw to. I mean, he's just got some good players to work with in Bird and Lee, not to mention his running back. So, Bird 18 yards, and now they're 1st and goal, and it looks like they're just going to have no problem punching this in, because Chucky Keaton's going to stiff arm his way for another rushing touchdown. He's got 2 of them in the first quarter alone. So, holy cow, 14-14 as we near the end of the first quarter. And this game, really interesting. Nobody's really playing any defense. A failed play action here, and Taylor Heineke is sacked for a loss of 7. And 3rd and 18. I mean, that sack basically doomed the drive, but then this happens. Intercepted, and he's going to be stopped just short of the end zone, but it would not matter. I'm just going to spoil it here, because guess what? Joe Hill's going to take it right up the gut on the next play. 3-yard touchdown run, and this game is lacking something. A little something called defense, because it's 21-14 and we barely started the second quarter. Holy cow. I don't know what to say about that. 3rd and 6 on our next drive. Taylor Heineke's going to roll out. He's going to find Larry Pinkard for 16 yards. And Pinkard turned out to be a really good receiver, especially coming right out of the slot there. So, awesome sauce. Colby Goodwin would get 2 yards. Tyree Lee had to come off the field several times in this game due to getting the wind knocked out of him. But Goodwin drops the pass on 3rd down. And not a good way to try to respond after giving up that touchdown. But then on the punt, the ball bounces off the returner's head. He misses picking it up. Apparently, I don't know what's wrong with him, because not only did it bounce off his head, but that seemed to throw him off and make him completely miss the ball when he dove after it. So Utah State would retain possession, and they would get out of that hole. They were inside the 10-yard line. And then Chucky Keaton, I had that play stopped, and he just somehow Houdini's his way out of that. Well, I mean, I don't know if that's the right word to use, but they continue to just run this option right at us. I'm putting spies on him. I'm doing everything I can to try and stop him, and he somehow gets by anyway. So I think that's just a testament to the fact that we do lack a little bit of speed on the defensive side. But this play, Kelvin Lee stopped for a loss of 4. Defense finally steps up, makes a stop. 2nd and 14. We do still have to hold them. It would be nice to get some kind of defensive stand here. And they're going to find their tight end, DJ Tialavea, for a 13-yard gain. 3rd and 1. Keaton's going to roll out. He's going to try and take off with this one, a little bootleg play. But we do stop him inches short, so they settle for the field goal. It's 24-14 now, Utah State leading But this game's still very interesting. We're still in this one, not out of it. It's not like the Virginia Tech game or the ECU game. And look at Tyree Lee. Look at that running. Great blocking, great running, great everything. Minute 17 to go after calling a timeout. 1st and 10. It's Taylor Heineke. He's going to find Larry Pinkard on a little out route for 9 yards. So things continuing to go our way. We would get the first down after Tyree Lee running the ball. And Taylor Heineke is going to keep the option here, but he would be knocked out. Here we go. The trainer's looking at him, coach looking at him, trying to figure out what's wrong, and it would, in fact, be a strained back. Taylor Heineke is out for the rest of this game, so it's going to be freshman David Washington who's going to have to take over. And look at the spin move by Blair Roberts. Holy cow, that was beautiful. My eyes popped out of my head when I saw how awesome that looked. So the freshman David Washington running the option here, pitches it to Tyree Lee, and it's going to be a 13-yard touchdown run for Lee. And there you go. Just before halftime, we make it a 3-point game with that touchdown, 24-21.
Glad to have you with us in the studio for the EA Sports NCAA Football 14 halftime show presented by Nissan. Innovation that excites. Reese Davis and David Pollack here, completely locked in on that first half. Utah State's first half, really sort of a battle, certainly not anything like what they thought it would be, not as easy, and really there's not much excuse for this game to be this close, is there?
No, I got some explaining to do. I mean, when you look at this score, I mean, it should be worse. You should be drubbing this team. You should be winning by a lot, but this is what we see, and this is the frustrating thing about college football, especially for fans, because you're like, wait, we're so much better. None of those guys got recruited by our school. None of them chose our school or their school over us. We're so much better, so much more talented, but the emotion, not getting up, not getting ready to play is something that you can't take into account. And apparently, they weren't ready to play in the first half.
David and I will be keeping an eye on your game and everything else going on in the country here in our palatial and comfortable surroundings in the studio. The best seat in the house belongs to Brad Nessler in Kirkhurst Street.
All right, so after a quick halftime, there we go, 24-21, and Utah State gets the ball to start the second half, so kind of not the best way to start the second half. We'd like to get the ball being down, but it is what it is. And 3rd and 7, Travis Reynolds would fall out of bounds and would not get the first down, so our defense actually held Chucky Keaton and the Utah State offense finally. And they looked like they were fired up coming out of halftime. But it would be a decent upset. I mean, Utah State comes in 2-1. They're pretty tough at home, and they've got a really rough and tough offense here. But Larry Pinkard having a big day, 16-yard reception, continues to make big plays. And Washington is surprisingly accurate in this role, filling in for Taylor Heineke. And Pinkard, again, you see the way he was running, trying to guide Tyree Lee to seal off that block. Couldn't quite do it, but on 2nd and goal, Lee would get his 2nd rushing touchdown of the game and give Old Dominion the lead. First lead since the first quarter for Old Dominion, so it's 28-24, but there's still plenty of time left, and both offenses have been firing like crazy. So anything can happen. You never know whether one team will slow down or one defense will finally step up and make some plays. But 1st and 10 for Chucky Keaton right around midfield, and look at this run. He's going to shake off a couple of tacklers before being brought down for a gain of 8. And 2nd and 2, they're going to run another option. Seemingly just about every other play they're running a read option, and Keaton gets 16 yards before getting bulldozed to the ground because his head just rung, but he gets right back up, and well, Kelvin Lee on the 6-yard touchdown run to answer. A really good drive to answer by Utah State there, and it's 31-28. The back and forth continues. Back and forth blows between the two teams, just like a boxing match here. And Antonio Vaughn finally getting some action. The star receiver hasn't seen much action in this game at all. And on 3rd and 5, David Washington Gets about 6 yards on the option keeper, and that's what he's good for. He's a pretty good runner, like I've said before, and Tyree Lee on a little screen pass will get 9 yards. This game is exciting.
An offensive showcase through 3 quarters. Will either team slow down in the final stanza? Utah State's got a 3-point lead.
Here we go, the fourth quarter. It's been one crazy game of scoring, and more scoring. And Colby Goodwin, look at 11 yards. He is just having a great game, running well, and with that kick return he had earlier. And by the way, with that kick return, look at Gerard Shillo, but that kick return earlier, he has now been bumped up to the lead kick returner, the lead punt returner, the backup halfback Colby Goodwin. So there you go. That's what happens when you make big plays. And Melvin Vaughn, the fullback on 3rd inches, gives us the first down. And holy cow, 1st and 10, we're running a play out of the I formation. And it's intercepted. Yes. It looks like a good pass, but it's just a good read by the defender. Maybe a little too tight coverage to throw into, but Keaton has an obscene amount of grass to run through, and then to cap it off, he doesn't even get hit, so that's the worst. But the pass will be dropped by his receiver on 2nd down, 3rd and 4 now. Defense hopes to hold for Old Dominion, but Keaton finds a hole to run through, and it's just too easy for this offense. Too easy for Keaton, who continues to just rack up the yards on the ground. But here, finally, the defense contains him and sacks him. Eric Lewis, the defensive back. Who else? Who would you have thought to make a sack on that play? It's Eric Lewis, but 3rd and 15, it's Keaton to Watson on that play, and it just doesn't seem to get any better for the defense. But Eric Lewis does it again, coming off the corner blitz. He gets 2 sacks in one game. That's something you don't see very often from a cornerback. You don't even see 1 sack from cornerbacks usually, but cornerback blitz there, and now 3rd and 9. They're going to run a halfback screen, and it's going to be Kelvin Lee who somehow makes that a touchdown. It looks like he might have been able to stop it, and instead it's Kelvin Lee, touchdown, and it's 38-28 Utah State with about 2.5 minutes to go. 3rd and 6. We're going to find Jaquale Bailey. Old Dominion has to get things going quickly because they need to get in the end zone quick. But it would be intercepted here. David Washington couldn't quite put enough touch on that pass to get it over defender, and it was well read by the defense. 3rd and goal on the next drive for Utah State. They're trying to run the clock out, and Keaton is going to put the dagger in right there. 13-yard run. 45-28. Now we're just kind of playing to try and make this look a little more respectable. Tyree Lee is going to get a season-long 33-yard rush, and that's pretty good. Number 33 gets 33 yards. 3rd and 9, David Washington's going to find Antonio Vanu, makes an incredible catch, makes a huge move, and he's going to shake off 2 tackles before being brought down in the end zone. And this is probably the best effort I've seen. If you look at the catch that he made, the move that he made, and the tackles that he broke on this touchdown here. Broke off that tackle, look at that move. He doesn't have quite enough gas to make it all the way, but he kind of gets some help from the defenders. He's able to ride them to the end zone, and the final would be 45-35, an offensive shootout. Holy cow, that was a crazy game. But Old Dominion couldn't quite pull it off for their first win, so we're going to have to wait for another game, sadly. But it was at least a respectable game, at least offensively, for Old Dominion. We actually finally put some yards up. Now, Utah State isn't exactly anything close to Virginia Tech defensively, but regardless, it was still a good game offensively, other than some interceptions. But there we go. Tyree Lee almost 100 yards. Couldn't quite cross that mark, but 2 touchdowns, that's what matters. Antonio Vaughn, touchdown. Connor Martin, touchdown. Pretty good receiving numbers across the board. But we do fall now to 0-4 on the season, and Utah State will improve to 3-1. Keaton, 170 yards, passing 183 yards, and 3 touchdowns rushing. He killed Old Dominion on the ground. He was very difficult to stop. But there you go. Utah State comes away victorious on their own turf. And what do you guys think? Should we go maybe next season? Should we reschedule? Do we want to take on Utah State next season at home? See if we can get some revenge. But look at this, guys. Look at the bottom right. Western Kentucky loses to FCS Southeast. The team that I rolled with in NCAA 13 lost to an FCS team in overtime. I'm pretty disappointed. I am. I did see that Western Kentucky did get some new uniforms. They're really sweet looking, but that's about as much as I've kept up with them since the season ended. But there you go. We did get to level 2 as the head coach, and I put that level upgrade into the same recruiting thing that we did before, so it's level 2. We have a recruit that's locked us out and a bunch of guys that are ready to visit. Matt Williams will be visiting in week 5 as well. And here, players of the week, and unfortunately, Chunky Keaton is the NCAA Offensive Player of the Week due to his ridiculous performance against yours truly. So, there you go. We'll get a look at the Heisman candidates here. Braxton Miller, Johnny Manziel, Taylor Martinez, Kane Coulter, and A.J. McCarron. Again, fairly unsurprising candidates so far. But next week, in the next game, we will take on South Alabama, looking for our first win. Crossing our fingers. See you guys next time.